On this episode of Haunted Heritage, Terry and the crew visit Orillia, Ontario, Canada, home of the haunted Orillia Opera House.
Hi, I'm Terry Boyle. Welcome to Haunted Heritage. I'm standing in the historic Orillia Opera House. For over 100 years, this magnificent structure has housed the Opera House, Town Hall, and jail. The Orillia Opera House is also home to the spirit world. For a number of years, staff working late at night hear the sounds of a ghostly pianist playing on stage. On other occasions, staff swear they can hear a vaudeville act from the 1920s performing in front of an audience. So join our investigative team as we spend the entire night in the building searching for the phantoms of the Opera House.
I feel like I can go up and down here, but it's right in there.
I'm shaking.
The camera in there. Let's take you to another spot that makes
Oh my God, this is where that moment.
Isn't that amazing?
Mark, you're the building manager of the Opera House. I wonder if you could tell us how far back these ghost stories go. Some people state they started to occur after, went from a movie theater back to live theater again.
Well, the building was built in 1897. At the time of rebuilding in 1915, so it already had a period of history. It had already gone through the vaudeville era, had gone through the beginning of the First World War. After 1915, it was used as a barracks during the First World War. And the Dumbbells were famous at that time, and they sang on our stage.
I seem to be the victim of a cruel death.
Mark, this is the piano that some staff report has a phantom playing it at night, and when they come in, you can still hear the music, but nobody's here.
As far as I think that's really what's true, I've been here a little over 20 years, and when I first started here, I spent many a night alone. And more often than not, that I'd swear I would hear the piano playing, and I would run upstairs and say, all right, who's playing a joke on me now? Who's come in the door? Because at that time we had no keys, no nothing. You could walk in and out of here all you want. And come here and hit the stage, and there would be nothing except the piano. And other staff have heard it as well, so I don't think we're all nuts.
And on that note, Terry Rossiter is the house manager of the Orillia Opera House. Terry, do you believe ghosts exist here in the Opera House?
There was one evening that we called the Phantom Night. There were several things happened. Cool breezes blowing. Our technician told us that someone was whispering behind him, but there was no one there. After the ushers take their breaks after intermission, going back up to the balcony, up the turret, the usher made several trips up and down because she could hear footsteps behind her. Wow. And no one was there. And then at the end of the night, we were all standing at the top of the stairs, and the fire hose, which is encased in a box outside the elevator, dumped itself onto the floor, but not just fell over and dumped. It came down fold by fold.
Right in front of you?
Right in front of us.
Wow.
Now, I don't have an explanation for that. I don't know how that would happen or why it might happen. But it definitely happened. And later that evening, I thought I saw someone running up the stairs. The technician and I took off up the stairs, and the doors were locked. There was nobody there.
Mark, I wonder if you could tell us a story about the screaming shaft.
Well, you're standing right on it, or where it used to be. In about 1915, there had been a fire, and they decided to rebuild. And one of the things that they put in was a brand new elevator shaft, which would reach right to the stage, so people didn't have to walk up the stairs. You are 4 flights up. So on the weekend, after working all week, everyone went away. Unfortunately, they left a man behind. He fell down the shaft sometime on the weekend and spent the weekend screaming, or so they say. And no one came to find him until Monday. And on Monday, they found him But by that time, he had busted his leg and done something else, and he did die. He got gangrene, I believe, on his leg, but it was much too, at that time, it was too far for him to go. But it's hard to imagine sitting down 3 flights of stairs and screaming all night, or 2 nights worth. So every once in a while, when you wander through this building late at night, and you hear a scream or a little moan, you sometimes wonder, is that him? Is that me? Is it the wind? I don't know, but it could be anything. So, but anyways, you're standing right on it, and maybe I'll move back, because you might just fall right down there again. You just stay out of there. That's where it used to be.
We're in the basement of the Orillia Opera House with Larry Cotton, historian and author of Whiskey and Wickedness. Larry, there's an intriguing story to the area we're standing in right now in terms of whiskey, tunnels, and jail.
There's a lot of conjecture about the origin and purpose of these tunnels, but we do know that they did exist. This particular wall, though, is very interesting because one of the stories or theories is that the tunnels went from this building, which was used as a council chambers and holding cells in the basement here,
right,
diagonally across Mississauga Street, the main street in Orillia, to a brewery. And looking at the wall, we have a poured cement structure, which is then offset by blocks, and then an area that has been repaired or parged.
Let's go back for a moment, Larry, to say 1910. Are you suggesting that there might have been some town fathers after a council meeting, instead of putting their coats on and going home, might have gone down to the basement area and gone through the tunnels for a nightcap?
Is there a connection? We can only use conjecture to link the two, but it's a possibility.
And your forefathers actually, I understand, were part of the police department.
My great uncle was chief constable in the town of Orillia in the period between 1897, when this building was constructed, right, and 1905 when he left. And so this area, which would be the holding cell area, or the jail part, right, of the municipal building.
So you're kind of returning to your roots here today.
So to speak, I'm on the right side of the bars, though.
Mark, the jail was right in this area, and I understand there were 5 jail cells.
Yep, this would be the number 1 lockup here. The magistrate used to take them into the small pit, and they'd actually be sentenced and put here. We'll just open her up and take a look inside. Now, I never knew this existed until I started looking at drawings, and there was a space. I couldn't figure out for the life of me what happened to an extra 8 by 40 area. Then finally my custodian said, well, it's a jail cell down there. I said, where? And then we went in here and then discovered it. So the whole thing down there.
Nationally renowned spiritualist medium Greg Keane from Lilydale, New York, arrives at the Orillia Opera House having no prior knowledge of his destination.
Greg, we're in the lobby of the Orillia Opera House. Mm-hmm. What do you sense in this area?
Well, the first thing I feel is a gentleman that's a greeter, and I felt him greeting everyone, and he was so proud, I mean really proud, of everyone here and everything he would do. And I felt the gray hair, the mustache, not sure his size and body, but the energy was so strong for him. And he was the one that kept things going. He really worked on things to keep things going. Right. And a woman's presence keeps coming in also, but I keep feeling her coming from that side. There was an older woman that I feel, whether you'd term her a ticket booth person or something, but it's like the lady was here forever. I mean, this woman was like part of it. And it's a very beautiful feeling. I get a wonderful feeling here. It's a very good feeling here.
Do you see her right at the moment? Or do you
I saw
feel
her by the doorway for the moment, and it was a shorter build lady, maybe this tall, and the old style hairstyles. I mean, not new style hairstyles, old style clothing, certainly. but her energy was an energy that I don't think she could walk very quickly or get up and down the steps very quickly, but she used to be right here and like police the lobby, watch everything.
Do you think she's coming and going, or she's here all the time? How do you...
I feel she comes and goes. When the energy of the people being here, she loves to be here and add to that and enjoy that, and she still not pulls from it,
Right.
but enjoys it, you know, everyone being here.
Is she here with us right now?
Yes, she's here. And who would be the gentleman that, there's a gentleman's presence that would take care of, would there have been an old projector that you actually hand moved or hand cranked?
Right.
Because I keep seeing this man took care of that, and it was his baby. He would actually maintain the gears, maintain everything in it, and he would do it himself. And his presence is very strong. He's around a lot too. Someone's keeping looking over the banister over here. I keep feeling this male presence looking over the banister, and he would keep an eye on things all the time, keep track.
So we have a lot of people around us.
Oh, tons.
Okay.
Tons. We're far from being alone here.
Greg Keene is a fourth-generation spiritualist medium who was born and lives in the United States.
Beautiful old building.
It's a gorgeous building, isn't it? So we're moving up to the next story.
And it's like, I feel like you may even come up here at times and have some of the chairs. You'd hear noises with the chairs. And I'm not sure how many people you've maybe interviewed in the sense of, you know, what they've heard, but I hear the chairs moving, other than the people in here, but I mean, chairs moving. And I felt the energy also that they would swing some doors and bang some doors around up here and let people know they're here. And they would get everybody a little shook up with flickering lights. I get a feeling that they can flicker the lights at times.
Greg's abilities as a medium were apparent to him at the very young age of 5.
So we are now in the heart of the Opera House.
I feel wonderful feelings here, but I feel that there's a man passed away that would have had a heart attack. I feel when he died, he had a heart attack here, but it was a very kind man, very gentle energy, and he's around a lot. He keeps hanging out. And when they're drawn to the energy, they're drawn to what happiness is here and excitement of what other people have experienced, and they're tied into that, and they just tie right back in every time someone is here. Not that they're here all the time,
Right.
but they come back in and they tap into the energy, and it's a beautiful feeling.
So would that be like during a performance when
Yeah.
they would return at that time?
I feel that people have had experiences that they may or may not recognize that was spirit
Okay.
being here when the performances are going on.
So they're not aware, or something may happen, but they're not sure what that is?
They weren't realizing what it was. Because I feel that they move seats here all the time. I hear the seats going up and down, and it's like people look, and it's like nobody walked up and sat down behind them, but yet they heard a seat.
Okay, Greg, sense anything here?
Well, the energy I felt here as we were walking up, I felt a gentleman's presence that I felt had canes, and I felt his legs were very weak. But I feel like he was here all the time when he was in his lifetime here. He was here a lot. But the energy I felt with him was he was so supportive of everyone. But I felt a very limited feeling in my legs. My legs were very limited, and he had had a very difficult time with steps. And he had had something that was bracing, not just a cane, but it was like I felt like I'm bracing myself to walk.
Okay.
And I felt another woman's presence here that I want to term her stage mom. I just feel the energy of stage mom. And she would have been here for every single thing that ever happened while she was living.
Right.
And I saw her energy being very loving, but yet it's like, get it in order, do it right. You know, this is what you need to do.
Right.
This is the timing of doing it. And I felt the energy of her being over here and watching a lot. For some reason, I don't sense her over here as much. I sense her over here. And that she'd be almost like directing the other people. But I feel that she was here and got quite old.
Right.
You know, I mean, this wasn't a young person. But I feel her presence is very, very strong.
Now the spirit with the legs, the bad legs. Do you sense an accident there or anything around?
I feel an accident in the passing, yes. My head hurts, and I feel a situation there where my chest is damaged.
Right.
I feel something occurred to the chest. I feel there's a jolt to the chest.
Anything else you sense right in this
Yeah,
area?
there's someone up here that I feel, you know the old saying about break a leg, you know, it's like good luck. I feel like someone would have tripped in the back here, not in this room on this stage, but I want to go back behind things.
Right, you want to
And
go back behind here.
Yeah, and that's where I feel someone got hurt and tripped and broke their leg. Either ankle or leg, because I get my pain in my right ankle, right leg.
Right.
I feel like there's something there happened, and I feel like it was a fluke thing, but it was like they were here.
Do you
They
think
were
you
here.
could find that area? Do you want to go back?
I feel if I went around that way, it's like it's right back there, but I feel like there's an unevenness in the floor.
As Greg mentions going backstage, a weird anomaly appears over his right shoulder. Upon further review and investigation, it is believed to have been a flying insect.
So the floor is uneven.
But I had a feeling too, there was something about up above out there that they don't have out there now. I don't see it out there now. But there was some sort of a walking thing across there that people could go up there and get across there. I don't see it at this time.
Okay. Do you see a curtain there at all?
Yes,
An old curtain?
two curtains.
Two curtains.
Not one curtain. I felt one curtain was for the audience and the other curtain was behind that yet.
Right.
And they can enlarge the area by removing the one curtain.
As the crew heads towards the office administration area, Greg gets a strange sensation.
Whoa, there's a strange feeling here. Well, I keep seeing file boxes and things sitting out here in a desk, and I don't feel this is at all what it is now. But I kept feeling also, it's a weird feeling, but it's like I see gun cabinets in the area here. I felt like there was a lockup area that you put things that would have been locking things down, and it would have been some weapons at one time.
Okay, Greg, we're in the dressing room area of the Opera House.
That's a weird feeling in there.
It's a weird feeling. You don't want to go in there? That's okay.
No, I feel I can go in here, but I feel it's a weird feeling, and I get the strange feeling like, I don't know why, but I feel like I could change floors in here.
You can change floors.
Change floors in here for some reason.
Well, that's probably a very good reason because the elevator shaft is in this area, the old elevator shaft.
Okay, because it's a weird sensation like something isn't solid underneath me,
Right.
and I feel like I could take and just change floors.
We'll go into this room next.
All right.
And you were still talking about this male presence
Yeah.
and about the legs injury.
Yeah, because I felt a leg injury. I felt pain in my leg completely. It's like ankle, leg. And I felt energy with him of frustration that he wanted to do everything he could do and keep everything in order he could do. And the energy from him, I know he'd have been here and been a part of the place. I mean, this isn't a total stranger. I mean, he'd have been in here and been involved.
Right.
But I felt the energy from him also that the injury he had didn't kill him, but I don't feel he lasted very long after that. I feel like
After the injury.
Yeah.
Right.
There was a period of time he'd have left.
Okay.
The activity I feel with him is when this place has the physical living people coming in and have interest. He's right there to be supportive and be helpful. And I don't feel he's earthbound or stuck here or anything like that. I just feel he comes in and it's like, hey, you know, we have people having interest here.
Right.
And he's happy to be here and happy to show people things. And I feel he likes to play with inanimate objects that he could move or bump or make a noise. And it's like that's his little way of getting people to look. And it's like, well, what was that? You know, who did that?
Right.
And it's a very peaceful feeling that he's there. Because he does it in a loving manner. I don't feel anything.
Now, do we have anybody with us right now in this room? Do you have?
I feel his presence very strongly
So
with
he's been with us for a
Yeah,
little
he's
bit.
been walking through since we left stage.
Yeah.
He's been with us the whole time walking through here.
Which side? Where is he right now? In this room?
I feel he's right here.
He's right here?
I just feel his energy standing watching us.
Okay. Do you ever see the portal, the openings where, you know, the spirits in this building come and go? Have you seen
At times I would see the energy. I wouldn't term it as seeing a porthole as seeing an actual porthole in a sense.
Right.
What I felt was the energy that you would feel where they're coming through at, and you would sense it more than see it. And I'd feel that energy at times. As we walked along, there's been different points where I could feel the energy enter in and
Right.
step back again. And it's been an interesting feeling with them because I've been some places where you would feel more positive and you'd feel more negative. I really feel overall here very positive energy. I mean, everyone that I've been picking up on is a very positive energy.
Okay, we're going to head down to the basement now. Just watch your step. Okay, Greg, we're now entering into the lowest level of the building.
Well, I feel almost tippy here. I feel like my balance is even off a little bit.
Right.
And I get the feeling here of a bench here, something to sit on right here. And I had the feeling here that they've changed this. This is different from what it was. There's a door, that's a different door.
Right.
But I felt the door was more reinforced and it wouldn't be a window like that.
There is an opening in here. Do you sense anything with this?
I felt there was some sort of a shield on that at one time, not a piece of wood. I felt like a shielding feeling of something there that would have been, I don't know if it was metal, but something else was there. And I felt like I could reach through or crawl through it. It'd be limited.
Right.
And I felt like something was also in there that would have been like a bar or blockage in some way to prevent. I felt more of a limited feeling here, that there was a control area here.
Like confinement?
Confinement here, and it wasn't as open as this room is now. And I didn't necessarily feel even a bathroom feeling. I feel like there's a controlled spot here.
Right.
And I had the feeling of a little bit of heaviness. It's like a heavy feeling, you know, it's not a light feeling, it's a heavy feeling. And I feel like there was some harm here to someone. I feel like someone was hurt here. I feel more than one.
Death at all?
I feel the death, someone died here, yes. I'm not sure if it's this exact spot, but I feel like now, not connection to the heart attack upstairs.
No.
No connection to that at all. This is a separate energy. And this energy is more of a, I don't want to use the term earthbound, but I want to say it was a real earthy, lower energy of whatever was going on here.
Right.
It wasn't the more relaxed and up energy. There was more of a control energy, and there was more of limitation.
Okay, the cells are right here. They're all closed in. So you're quite right about confinement.
Okay. There's a feeling of confinement and despair. It was like, I just feel very much a despair feeling.
Right.
And I had the feeling this had to be back a long time ago. This wasn't the modern day.
No.
This had to be back quite a while ago. I don't even see them wearing the kind of weapons that would have been, the modern day at all.
Residual spirit energy can even be picked up behind plastered walls, as demonstrated here by spiritualist medium Greg Keene.
Well, someone's teasing in spirit and saying they're not buried behind the wall.
They're not very good. That's good. I like that. Thank goodness.
I get a whole other room or accessibility here. I don't feel this is like what it is now. I feel a whole other room there. This room and another room and the connection between, but not necessarily the same, say, structure we're in.
Right.
But I mean, it would have been there, and it had a branch where it actually went two ways.
Okay.
Because there was a part of it that you could go one way and go into one spot, and you can go another direction and go into the other. And I feel like you could term it the same tunnel in a sense.
Right.
And I felt the entry doors were two, and this was one.
Can we talk about the death in this area? Is there spirit still here as a result of that, do you feel?
Well, not here in the sense of what some people would use the term earthbound.
Yeah.
I don't feel that.
Okay.
I feel they have progressed, but I do feel their death would have been physically here.
Okay.
And it would have been a circumstance where I felt my chest and throat hurting.
Right.
And I feel when they went pretty quickly in the end.
Right.
And I felt a lot of energy around it, that there was a lot of controversy at times over that for a while.
Okay.
It was like, who did what? But I felt an energy that I see at peace now. It was a male energy, but I feel at peace with him now. He's progressed.
Do you sense that, did the community know about it?
Afterwards.
Afterwards. Okay.
I don't feel at the time of it happening that the whole community would know. I feel there was a select few that would have known.
Right.
But I feel like it was actually kept quiet for a while, and then later on it was finally admitted to. It's the weirdest sensation, but I feel like there was a political occurrence that forced them to seal things up.
Huh.
Something occurred behind the scenes, and they just said, well, we'll just eliminate this, and it's not a problem then.
Do you get a sense in Greg at all that there may be a spirit trap, though?
I feel there's one entity that hangs out here a lot, and I wouldn't term earthbound because I don't feel it's not having the freedom to go on.
Right.
I feel they're just choosing to be here, but it's like it's a choice. I mean, I don't see a limitation.
Just the same one that's been with us?
Yeah,
The
walking
man.
all around through us there.
Is he still with us
the
right
whole
now?
time. Yeah,
Okay.
still with us.
Okay, Greg, we're going to head into this part of the building.
All right.
Now, when we were just down in the basement, the jail area, and you had put your hand where you felt an opening,
Yes.
and what else did you feel about that tunnel or where it went?
I felt the tunnel wide out. There was like two separate steps or separate
Right.
ways, and I felt one building I felt calmer with, and I feel really not a problem there, but the other building I felt very uneasy with, and I felt uneasy with some female energies in the basement, and I felt uneasy with female energies over there, that somehow some abuse energy was occurring in some way.
Okay. Well, history tells us it could have been a brothel.
It was.
That building. It was a brothel.
The one that went that way.
Yep.
I have horses outside already.
Horses?
Horses outside.
Any activity associated with the horses?
I see two activities. I see them unloading off of there and bringing things in here. And I had the feeling that they unloaded there, brought them in here, but they kept it secretive. They didn't want people knowing things for some reason.
Okay.
And there was also something going on too with people. I felt it's like with the tunnels, they didn't want to walk into one building, but they'd walk in the other building and end up over here. Interesting energy here though, because they had such a mixture of things occur.
In this room?
I mean, I'm talking everything from hidden to not hidden to good to bad to, I mean, just complete opposite ends of everything happened here.
But you see the connection with this room and the downstairs, the jail area.
Yes. Yeah. And I felt there was an energy here of another entry. Right. Besides this doorway that's right here, I don't know where that goes, but it's like the energy, I feel there's another entry.
Okay. Shall we travel to the turret?
Sure.
Okay.
Interesting energy up here.
You feel something up here?
Yeah, I feel they had lookouts up here and they watched people.
Okay. Do you know what they were watching for?
I felt there was a protection energy of keeping everyone else secretive, and they were watching people.
Right.
And they're making sure nobody would get caught. There's an interesting energy in here. This is above the ceiling? I get a feeling of being above a ceiling.
This is above the theater area and the main stage. So.
Well, the energy I was feeling was, I saw some people that would hide things in here.
So, in fact, what you're saying is they could have been drinking.
Yes.
Okay. Possibly running the projector.
Yes.
Okay.
This is not the original tables. This is not the cabinets that I'm seeing. I'm seeing a bench narrower, and there was a bench on each side of a unit that you could crank.
So this is where you saw that projector.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this window is different than what it was. It's not the same way. I saw a hole more than a window.
Okay.
I feel like they changed. Something used to go through the floor.
Okay.
Because I felt like there was an opening, or there had been an opening where something that you could access down from here. Oh, here's a door.
And there's a door right there.
Because I felt like I could access something going down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
And I really feel here that a tremendous amount of energy flow in the building. There's a couple of spots we walked through where it was like you could feel floating in the energy be that strong. Especially down in the basement, that one area where you have the doorways, the two doorways. Mm-hmm. There seemed to be an energy there. It was real strong. And that jail area was real strong. That wall area is real strong. Peaceful, though. It's interesting to look at the history in this manner instead of look at the history by reading in a book.
Well, it's quite amazing when you're an individual that didn't know any of the history of the building.
Well, I didn't know where I was coming when I come up here. He said to me, he says, you got about 6.5 hours.
Exactly. That's great.
It's been fun. I enjoy it.
Earlier, while story interviews were taking place, paranormal investigator Robin Polakis was conducting baseline readings. These baseline readings consist of taking the temperature and EMFs of the area. EMF measures the electromagnetic fields being emitted. Unusually high readings may indicate the presence of paranormal activity. Just prior to the crew taking an evening meal break, Director Nick Polakis visited the jail cell area, set up the infrared camera, and rolled videotape. He boarded shut the cell opening and returned again before the evening vigils began. The crew go over and prep all the equipment. They double-check all the gear and confirm their operation.
Yeah, that's to do EMP recordings. Yeah.
And most importantly, they don't forget the videotape. Terry leads the gang in prayer for what they are about to encounter. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, there is absolutely no harm in asking for a little insurance before heading into the unknown. As the first of many vigils throughout the night begin, we track the Haunted Heritage team heading up to the turret area of the Aurelia Opera House.
9 degrees.
I don't know if they turn the heat down at night. Or they say that this cold.
How's that? How's that? How's that? Going into there.
Well, that's funny. I've got 8.2 on this side. Well, it's got to be something with the turret because I've got 8.5 here, 7.5 here, and 5.5 in the middle. But it spikes up here somewhere.
So right around there?
Something here setting it off. And the only thing that's here seems to be the desk. What's that? Shh. Okay, what the heck was that? Oh, I just saw a flash.
Where?
I just saw it. I really just for the first time saw it with my eyes versus the camera.
In that room? There's something.
Right near this doorway.
Yeah, there's something right by the doorway. I've got a really strong chill right now.
Okay, if anybody's there, let us know. Can you bang on something?
Right now, we're at the top of the turret. We're actually just below the roof, the peak. And we're sitting here looking out a doorway into what used to be the old projector room used during the 1920s and 30s. And so far, Robin's seen a flicker of light. I heard a rustle in the projection area. And so we're just sitting and waiting.
You know that it's only 1.8 Celsius in sterile?
On your recording on that camera, though, you might have picked up that door slamming, right?
I may have.
Oh, look at that little trap door right there.
No, actually, that's...
Shh, shh, shh. Hang on, guys, hang on. It's just water.
Well, it would seem that we heard a rustle, saw a flicker of light, but that was it.
Terry, did you not close that door, or Nick, did you not close that door when
Actually, I think you did.
we closed the door on our way up?
I closed the door.
Yeah. Now the door's open.
The door's open. That was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
I closed that door. And now it's open.
And that's what we heard.
That's right. That was the door we heard.
There you go. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, let's go make sure you're still sitting.
Isn't that amazing? That's it? That was the door.
Is that what it sounded like?
That's what this is the sound.
You know what, when we go down,
They're on the stage, which means they didn't open this door.
and when did you close it? When we were coming up?
I closed the door as we came up.
I remember him closing it.
Yeah, I saw the door open, I knew they were down the stage area, so I closed this door, right?
Yeah.
And then we walked by and
When we
up the
went
turret.
back to the attic,
Now, I'll check
when
with
you
them to
climbed
make
up
sure.
there, that's when we heard the door open.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, well, when this group comes back in, we'll ask them if anybody came out of there, and if
Yep.
not, that door's open by itself. Matt?
We'll wait till the back. Yes.
You know, if it is that we've got something that's kind of moving.
Maybe it's following us and behind us as opposed to in front of us.
Jackie?
Hey,
There's the door again.
Jackie?
Where are you?
No way.
Where was that door?
yeah, but it's not.
No way. You've got to be kidding.
You guys open the door
At the back of the auditorium.
at the back of the auditorium. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
No, she said, no, we thought you guys did it.
Actually, we did come in because we shut these back doors when we went up to the turret. We heard the door and we came down and that door was wide open. So we want to know if any of you guys came through that door.
So when we went up the upper level, and that's part of when all the windows were open, we went up, we didn't hear anything.
No. Okay, that's not what I'm asking you. Did you guys leave this door open?
The door was open.
Yeah. It was open.
Yeah.
You didn't open it.
We didn't open it.
I
No,
closed
we
it.
shut it.
We
I
closed it on our way
when we
up.
got here. We come back, we heard it open when we were upstairs.
Yeah, we heard you guys do that. That's when we were first sitting down.
When you were just coming in, right, you were talking to us on the walkie-talkie, right? You were still down at the stage area coming up, correct?
This door
Okay, so then
went
we
by
did.
itself.
So this door moved at that time, but you weren't near the door, like.
Yes, because I came in the back door.
we were all on stage.
You were on stage.
Because I saw this door open, I walked in.
It's 3:45 in the morning. Both teams have now joined together to explore the basement area of the Opera House and the old jail.
Terry, why do you think this area would be, I guess, the most haunted place in the Opera House?
Well, I think it really connects with the jail itself.
Right.
If we recall that often a criminal was sentenced to death in the courtroom upstairs, and then they would have been placed in the holding cells before they were taken to Barrie to be hanged.
Right.
So there's a lot of energy around that, I think. And often a person hanged for murder, possibly that was innocent, usually comes back to the place where they were sentenced.
Really?
And it's usually on the anniversary of that date
Right.
that they return.
Okay, if there's anybody here, let us know. Want to hear a tap?
As the Haunted Heritage team investigate the basement area, they also bring handheld cassette recorders to capture any EVP audio. EVP is the electronic voice phenomenon that some believe spirits can encode messages onto the metal particles of the tape that can only be heard upon playback.
This is the area where all the baby powder's been smelled.
We are now in the lockup area, and we have 5 jail cells here that have all been sealed in other than this opening. And Nick is inside the cell. The interesting feature about these cells as well are the prisoners have actually etched their names on the walls.
Earlier in the evening, Nick had locked off a night vision camera in the jail cell area. Here are the highlights from that recorded session. Watch closely for some unexplained orb-like phenomenon. The Haunted Heritage crew was about to leave the jail cell area when
I just saw a shadow on my
Yeah, pushed me up the stairs.
Something moaning.
I did too, and then I saw a
Crap.
shadow.
No, I'm serious.
Like right now at the doorway here?
Yes.
What kind of sound did they make?
No, it was a moan, man. I'm not joking. No.
It's so funny.
Well, do you think we should investigate it?
I think we gotta go.
Well, yeah, like if Jackie and I got
Did you?
she, like,
I told you there's something out there.
Somebody walking.
I know, I heard it too.
I got footsteps.
Telling you, we heard something going on there. Garrett?
tell you, that shadow shot across there. We heard a noise and then they just saw a shadow going and just everybody just took off.
Did it come into this room or go the other way?
Well, it went across and that was the thing. We didn't know whether it was coming in here or not.
You wait all night for that and then you run?
Well, when you hear something moan, it wasn't pleasant.
It was my stomach.
No, it sounded like somebody was in pain.
Well, that's what makes sense being in the jail.
Oh, God.
Must have been walking around. I just heard footsteps. There were footsteps.
Clear as anything. If anybody's here, show yourself now. Please. If that was you, do it again. Tell me what happened there.
Jump from 24 to 10.
24 to 10. It's right in here.
Oh my God, look at the temperature.
It's down to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in here. I got a good chill.
Just
on
lost
right at the
4.5
moment.
degrees as soon as I stepped in the room. Now I'm down to 6 Celsius. It's very
coming
cold.
right from here.
Yeah, I told you that this
And that's where the footsteps, I think,
came
were
from
just
down
around the
this way.
corner there. And this is the
Oh my
area
God,
where
I just
we,
had a chill right through me.
this
like
is the area
goosebumps.
where we have the smell of
Baby
Baby
powder.
powder.
baby powder.
That's right.
Well, let's do another reading here and see what we get. That's coming through there.
Yeah, it's really cold. Now it's
4.
4.
So that's dropped how many degrees?
Well, since I first put it in here, yeah. Actually, it went really
So
high.
it's still here. It's still in this area.
It's actually, I can't believe it's gone down 2 degrees since a few minutes we've been standing here.
I'm going to the doorway.
Are you?
Yeah, and I'm going to check the temperature out. It's right with us. It's 9.
It's 9
Yeah,
degrees
so it's
there.
right here.
So
It's right here.
4 is here.
This is like the cold spot, hot spot. Yeah.
And it's 11 up in the
It's
ceiling.
freezing. You know how cold it is here?
My nose is frozen.
That's the weirdest thing in the whole. I've got goosebumps like
4
everywhere.
at the moment.
I'm shaking.
It's not the floor because there's nothing here that.
It's actually
Same
warmer to the
temperature.
floor.
No, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
See if it goes down anymore.
And you know what? Isn't that strange, eh? Hot air rises. It's 4 at this level, but it's 5 at the floor.
Okay, so we went down to 4, right?
Yep.
And the temperature right now in the same spot is
That's
15.
15.
So it's moved on.
Yeah, so let's go chase it.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're here for.
Last reading here was 10. Right?
Yeah. Actually, it's colder here now. There you go, 6.
Yeah, it's right here. It's still right in here. So it's staying with us.
Oh, God. Actually, yeah, I'm going to continually 4 now.
Okay, let's see if it stays with us upstairs. So let's shake it.
Well, I'm still sitting at 4. It's not leaving.
No, let's see if it follows us.
Yeah.
I think Nick's right.
We've
So it's
lost
coming with
3.
us.
We've lost 3.6 degrees since I took the first reading.
Yeah, I feel cold chill here.
Okay, maybe he is coming with us.
Are we missing this? Oh, okay.
No, nobody's leaving.
Yeah.
Nobody's wandering off.
Okay. You didn't hear anything?
I didn't hear that long.
I heard the footsteps for sure.
I felt them long.
Well, whoever it was had a heavy, there was some weight to the person because the footsteps were
I heard 3
quite.
steps.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Excellent.
So there you have it. It has been quite an eventful day and night at the Aurelia Opera House. We not only encountered a spirit in the jail area, Our medium, Greg Keene of Lilydale, New York, was able to sense the history, see and communicate with the spirits that call this place home. So remember, the next time you turn off the lights, have a look around. You may not be alone.
Okay, Blair, you were on duty the night we were here filming.
Yes.
What happened after the crew left the building that morning and you had to close up?
Well, when everyone was packing up and the vehicles were being packed, people as yourself, I think it was you that had mentioned to me that they found something in the basement, and the next person that came in, it was actually the person that had found or discovered something. And when everyone was leaving, you mentioned about stay back, you're not welcome, if you didn't want the spirit or ghost to come with you. So everyone had left and the building was dark. I was just making sure all the lights were off, doors were closed. I packed up my own car and went to set the alarm, and I noticed that the telefile door was open, and that's directly in the basement, right in the middle of the basement, which was pitch black. And to set the alarm, I had to go down and close the door. So in the back of my head, I remembered that there was something down there. So I went downstairs, checked it out, got to the door, closed the door. I felt okay, and then I just got spooked. Something came over me and just started running and put my hand up and just started yelling, "Stay back, you're not welcome." Got to the door there, looked at the alarm, and noticed that the door was now closed. A sense of relief came over me. In went the password, and out I went and went home and just was shooken up. I was frightened more than anything else.